The journey of learning how to trade is so difficult because our brain sees opportunities, our brain sees pathways that it thinks that we should walk and think that this would be the fastest way to learn how to trade. When in reality, it's the thing that's going to cause us to just simply go in circles, and those circles cause us to get frustrated. They cause us to lose way more money than we ever should starting out, and the pain starts to stack, the scars start to happen, and then trading becomes a battle uphill from there. In this video, I'm going to give you tips that'll help you stop walking in circles and actually start moving towards your goal of profitable trading. I have helped thousands of struggling traders to turn it around and finally start seeing consistent results in their trading. And I know that the tips in this video are going to help you to start moving towards your goal as well. We're going to divide this video up from brand new beginners and also to the second part of traders that have been trading for a little bit but are not seeing any consistent results as of yet. I will go ahead and bookmark on this video as well each segment of style of trader. And so if you're a little bit more advanced or you're not a beginner, you can just go ahead and fast forward and jump into the part that's going to be more relevant to you. But let's dive in with the beginners first. So if you're brand new, you're wanting to learn how to trade, odds are you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed. You're feeling a little bit lost. You're feeling a little bit scared. That's like, I'm going to make a wrong decision. I'm going to lose money. I'm going to lose everything that I have. I've heard all these horror stories about traders losing everything, and I don't really know where to start. That's normal. That's natural. That's exactly how I felt when I was first learning how to trade. So my first tip to you to get results the fastest in trading is to actually change what you're measuring as your success unit starting out. Everyone starting out wants to make money. All right, that's why we're here to trade. But odds are that's the time where you're going to be losing the most money. So people get depressed pretty quickly when the results don't come. They start to think they're doing something wrong. They start to go down avenues that they really shouldn't, and they just waste their time and they lose even more money. Let go of money right now and focus on learning. Most people have a learning mindset, like I'm here to learn, and then they start losing money. And now they're like, okay, well, I just got to make my money back. If I can just make my money back. And then they start shifting what their focus has been on. They no longer are trying to learn. They are struggling with, I've just got to get my money back. And then they start struggling with their identity. Like, I can't be known as the failure. I've never failed at anything in my life before, whatever. I've got to make this money back so I'm not a failure. That shift in focus is the easiest way for you to get stuck on your trading journey. And most people get stuck there for so long that they end up just quitting. So don't make that mistake. Let go of money. Trade with very small size. Paper trade. That means trading on a simulated account. So you're doing everything real except the money is fake. It's monopoly money. So that way you can learn how to actually trade. You can learn how the markets are moving, how it looks to put on a trade, what it looks like to lose on a trade, what it looks like to win on a trade, etc. Let go of money. And then whenever you start trading with real money, because I believe you should be trading with real money, trade with very small amounts. Stop trying to make money and just try to learn. Realize that you are going to be making the most mistakes you're ever going to make in trading right now. This is the worst trader you are ever going to be. Tomorrow, you're going to be better than you are today. So be okay with that. Understand that. Put that into picture and stop trying to make money. Just try to learn. Whenever something happens, don't sit back and go, how can I make my money back? What does this mean am I not going to be able to trade? Am I not smart enough? No. Look at it objectively. What did I learn from this experience? Man, I learned not to trade this inside candle. Man, I learned to stick to my plan. I learned to just manage my risk. I learned to not add to a position. Whatever it is, like that's how you learn those lessons, is through your mistakes. Understand this is where the majority of your mistakes are going to come. Trade with very small size. Don't try to make money and don't stress about the money that you've lost. It took me hundreds of thousands of dollars in losses before I finally started to see success in trading. And I made back that couple $100,000 in losses extremely quickly. I'm not saying you're going to lose a couple $100,000. I didn't have that advice that I'm giving you right now to help me not go around in circles for 5 years. So I lost a lot of money, but I made that money back so quickly. And then I was off into the profits from there on out. Understand that you're going to have a tuition in trading. Just keep that tuition small. You are in charge of your tuition in trading. Most people will go on and they start putting hundreds of thousands of dollars on trades after their first month of trading, trying to make a big money, and they end up just losing it all. Trade with 10 bucks. Trade with $5. Trade with 50 bucks. Keep it small. So that way, when you do make mistakes, which you will, you'll be down $25 instead of $2,000. Over 100 mistakes, you're going to be down a couple $1,000 instead of a couple $100,000. And you're going to be in such a better place in trading. The next piece of advice that I want to give for brand new traders is it's so important to build a solid foundation. You must understand how important it is to control risk. You must understand the market fundamentals. You must understand how to build strategies, how to test those strategies, and how to follow a strategy. So I'm going to give you a completely free course that will teach you those foundations, point you in the right direction, and make sure that you don't walk in circles for 2 years like I did, learning the basics of basics in trading. You can learn this stuff in a couple hours and finally start moving towards your goal in learning how to be a profitable trader. The link for that free course is in the description down below, or you can scan this QR code now on the screen. All right, so now let's talk about the traders that have been trading for a little bit. They know the basics, they understand it, they've gone through, they've put on quite a few trades, but you're not seeing consistent results. You're probably feeling like you don't know what the secret is. Like, what is the secret? How can this guy be making money and I'm not? What strategy is going to give me the most money? I need to find that golden ticket. Why is this strategy working and mine isn't? All I'm doing is just losing. I've got to make my money back. So I'm going to give you a tip right now that I would have paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for when I was first starting out, because it would have changed everything in my trading. I spent years thinking that this was how trading was and I was doing it wrong. Here's the tip. Everyone loses all the time. They just don't show it. So how can you be successful in trading if we're all losing all the time? Well, let's do an analogy real quick. If we were to flip a coin and on heads, you get $1,000 and on tails, you pay me $200, you get unlimited coin flips. It's a 50-50 shot. Would you play that game? Yeah, of course. You flip the coin, it's going to land on heads, you get $1,000. You flip the coin, it lands on tails, you only lose 200, right? It makes logical sense. I'd do that game all day long. Well, let's say you flip the coin, it lands on tails. Okay, I'm down 200. You flip the coin, lands on tails again. I'm down 400. Flip the coin, it lands on tails again. I'm down $600. That's more than, I'm going to take days to make that at my other job. Like, I don't know if I want to flip this coin. This next coin flip really needs to be a heads, man. I've got to have a heads on this. Please, just, I need, I don't know, should I flip the coin up a little bit higher? Should I not flip the coin as high? Like, what do I do to get a heads out here? Do you see how quickly you go from logic of like, yeah, that makes sense, totally, to this one coin flip matters so much? All you have to do is flip that coin 100 times. You're going to have times where it lands on tails 6 times in a row. You're also going to have times during those 100 coin flips where it lands on heads 10 times in a row. As long as the math works, you are going to be successful. If on heads, you're only getting paid $200 and on tails, you're losing $200, are you going anywhere? No. On heads, if you're only making $50 and on tails, you're losing $200, you're going backwards. The only thing that matters in trading is not your wins and losses. It's math. It's controlling how much money you lose when you're wrong and controlling how much money you make when you're right. That's how I can lose all the time, and every other trader out there on YouTube that won't show it loses all the time, but can still be extremely successful. So when I'm wrong, I'm losing 1% of my trading account. And when I'm right, I'm making 2 to 5% of my trading account. And I'm successful. I'm going to be about 50% win rate. Half my trades lose, half my trades win. But I set myself up where I can lose small and where I can win big. And that is my only focus. It took me so long to stop worrying about losses and worrying about taking 2 or 3 losses in a row and spiraling out of control and got to win on this next trade, and emotions come in, and then I start chasing trades and I start hesitating on setups and not getting in like I should, and then I see a perfect trade running without me because I was too scared and wondering if this trade would work or not. You're thinking about the wrong things. You're focusing on the wrong things. Stop worrying about this one trade and think about it in terms of 100 trades. Your setup should give you a 50% win rate. That's an edge. Now, all you have to do is press the button whenever that setup comes and then do your job. Your job is not to win on this trade. Your job is to win big if it wins. And your job is to lose small when it loses. But what do our emotions come in and immediately have us do? Our emotions immediately are saying, if you're losing, it'll turn around. Keep waiting. It'll turn around. I don't want to take a loss. So let's just move our stop. Let's just wait. It'll turn around. And as soon as we're winning, our emotions are going, it's going to reverse, lock in your profits. You've got to silence your emotions and you got to start thinking logically. You got to say, look, brain, the only thing that matters is I make twice the amount on this trade that I would lose if I would lose. That's it. If I'm wrong, I'm going to lose 1% of my trading account. If I'm right, I've got to make 2% of my trading account. If you only make $50 when you're right and you lose $100 when you're wrong, you're going backwards. But that's exactly what most people do. As soon as they're winning on a trade, they go, oh, I'm just going to take it. And you're like, I just made $100 in 5 seconds. I'm the greatest trader in the world. I should go quit my job. But they risked $500 on that trade. They would have lost $500 if that trade would have lost. And so what they're doing over 100 trades is they're making $100 when they're right half the time. And the other 50 trades out of 100, they're losing 500. And that's why you're not getting ahead, most likely. It's that expectation that losing on trades is what's going to cause you to fail in trading. And that is not the truth. Shift that truth in your mind. Understand what the truth is. Let go of the outcome. Accept it. Be good with, look, this trade's either going to win or it's going to lose. I've got my edge. I'm going to let it lose and I'm going to let it win. I'm going to let it go all the way to my target or I'm going to let it go all the way to my stop. Either way, I know for a fact this is how much money I'll lose if I'm wrong. This is how much money I'll make if I'm right. That way you can get the uncertainty out of trading and you can start controlling your emotions a little bit more. Tip number 2 that's going to get you off of the roundabout and actually start walking towards your goals of successful trading is to understand strategies. People think that strategies, that's the magic sauce. Like that's what I need to be successful in trading. And this is what I tell people all the time. It's false. That is not the correct way of thinking. Strategies are not your ticket to profits. And you're like, what do you mean, Tony? Let me explain. If you show up in the morning, you get in your car and you turn the key and your car doesn't start. You don't just like go, I don't know, grab a screwdriver. You've got to figure out why your car is not starting. A screwdriver does nothing until you can figure out what is going on. Once you pull the hood and you go, oh, my battery's dead. Now you go find the tool that's going to take the battery off of the car so you can put a new battery in, start the car and go. A tool is only good if you know where to apply it, if you understand why to apply it. Strategies are tools. You need them to make money. But if you do not apply your strategy at the right time, it doesn't matter. You will always lose. That strategy will not be effective. And so you have to understand price action. You have to have the ability to see momentum in the markets. Because if you're relying on a hammer candle to get in on your strategy, well, that hammer candle might come in right at the top when the bear momentum is starting to take back over. And so you're like, I got a hammer strategy. I get in right here on this hammer, but the momentum is bearish. And so you're going to lose. I could give you the world's greatest bull strategy, but if the markets are crashing, you're going to lose. I can give you the greatest bear strategy. And if you would have done that over the last whatever years on this bull run, you would have just constantly lost. It's not the strategy. It's your ability to apply that strategy with the momentum in the markets so that you can align yourself with it. It can give you a way to manage your risk, know when you're wrong so you can lose small, knowing when you're right so you can win big. That's all the strategy is there for, is to set you up to lose small and win big. And your job is to apply that strategy in the momentum of the markets. If you want to learn how to read momentum like a pro, come check out our All Access Pass, link down below. You get a 7-day free trial with the link down below. And so during those 7 days, you can cruise through all the courses. There's over 20 hours of online courses that you have as part of the All Access Pass to teach you how to read momentum, price action. You get strategies, how to play options, how to play the futures, how to swing trade, day trade. You can come join us live. There's tons of stuff that you can do for free for 7 days, so it doesn't hurt. Go check it out. Learn as much as you can. If you'd like to cancel after that, then great. I hope you learned something new. If you would like to stick around with us and keep making money and having us there to help guide you, say, hold on, don't turn left here, just keep walking straight, then come join us at Real Life Trading. The next tip that I want to give you around strategies is stop bouncing around strategies. Everything works, just not all the time. And so if you can understand that and you go, look, my strategy is going to have times where it loses. It's going to have times where it wins. If you always leave that strategy when it's having a hard time and you go find the next strategy, you're like, oh, I heard this person's making money on futures, or I heard this person's making money on this, or I heard this person's making, and you're just trying to find that one thing that's going to make you successful, you are always going to fail. And that kept me in circles again for well over a year, just trying to find the right one that's going to work. They all work, just not all the time. In order to see success, you have to simply put in 1,000 hours with one thing. You have to become a master at one thing. Every strategy, every style has pros and it has cons. I finally found success in my trading when I wrote out all the good and I wrote out all the bad. And I was like, does the good outweigh the bad? Does the bad match my personality? This strategy requires me to be in a trade for 5 days to see success. Do I have the patience to let it work for 5 days? This strategy requires me to be in front of the computer 24/7. Well, if you have a full-time job, that's probably not a great strategy for you to do. It doesn't match, right? You're not going to be able to be there. You've got to write out the pros, write out the cons, and accept it. Once you can accept that, okay, these are the negatives, these are the positives, I'm good with the negatives. I understand I'm going to have the negatives. I understand with this strategy, I am going to get stopped out quite often, but when I win, it's going to be big. I'm good with that. Remind yourself of that whenever you're getting stopped out quite often. Whenever you're on your 5th losing trade in a row, remind yourself, hey, this is what I signed up for. This is how this strategy works. I know if I just keep going, I'll get that one big winner. The key is during those 5 losses, how small are you losing, right? That's all you have to focus on. And so when it comes to strategies, don't go chasing the next big shiny thing. Just stick with the thing that you accept, you understand, and you're good with. Become a master at that. And then once you've mastered that and you're bringing in consistent income from that, now you can start branching out and learning other things. The next tip I want to give you is a big one. And this is what has caused the downfall of the majority of students that I have worked with that have not followed this tip. And it's kept them stuck for so much longer than they should have. And that is risk. You have to control risk. Remember we talked about earlier, math is the only thing that matters in trading. You have to lose small. Everyone goes after the big wins. They go after the opportunities. They see an opportunity and their eyes light up of how much money they could make right now. The problem with opportunity is that it doesn't account for risk. You only see the reward. You have to be focused enough to look at the risk. Look at both scenarios, not just how much money you can make, but also how much money are you willing to lose to put on this risk to see if the edge plays out. Every professional trader is focused on their risk. They're focused on what is this going to cost me if it loses, right? There are no guarantees out there in the market. There is no 100% out there. It's more like 65 to 70%. My greatest setups are around 70% win rate when it comes to buying directionally. Now I do credit spreads and selling options that have like 90%, but that's a different game. I'm talking about buying directionally, buying shares, buying options, whatever. Okay. Buying contracts. 70% on my greatest setup. So I have a really good chance of winning, but there's still a 30% chance that it's not going to work. One tweet, one news, one piece of, economic event can change everything, even though you had the perfect setup and it was working. So put the size on that you are okay to lose. If you can have the right expectations, if you can see the true purpose of strategies, if you can understand how to apply that strategy to the right momentum and you can control risk, you are going to get off the roundabout and you're going to start walking towards your goals in trading. The whole purpose of our real life trading community is to make sure that you stay on this path. And as soon as you start making a left turn or a right turn down avenues that are only going to cause you more losses and more delays in time that hold you back from your goals, we're going to help correct you, point you back, and get you back onto the straight path so you can keep walking that. Because don't get me wrong, it's a long path. There is a lot to learn and a lot of steps on this journey. And to put all that hard work and effort moving towards your target than it is to put all that hard work and effort going around over here on the left field in circles and then realizing I just wasted all this time and all this effort and now I have to go over here and start again. We here at Real Life Trading want to make sure that you're walking on that journey. So come join us. Right now, we're offering a special deal. It's just $97 one time. You're in for the rest of your life. Come join our trading community. You get free coaching every single week, courses, part of our Slack community as well. So you can ask questions, get access to professional traders, get advice, all for just $97 one time. I don't know how long this deal will last, but come check us out at Real Life Trading. Again, that's a lifetime membership. Links are down below in the description. I love you guys. I don't want you to make the same mistakes that I did. I wasted years of my life and so much money simply because I didn't have these tips to point me in the right direction. Throw a thumbs up in this video if you liked it. If you'd like me to continue to do more videos like this, I will. Whatever I can do to help you on this journey is what I want to do. Thanks for your time. Come check us out.